feels like you're walking into an oven. But I remember a friend of mine who had gone for Umrah, who had gone for Hajj, he just came back whenever, like a few weeks ago when all the Hujjaj were coming back, and I was just talking to him. I said, subhanAllah, the heat is so unbearable over here. It's so hot that you leave your house, by the time you get into the car, by the time you turn on the AC, you're already in the masjid and you've just been exposed to so much heat. And he says, after going for Hajj, I've realized that I have no right to complain about the heat anymore. He says, we would walk for hours from one place to another, and you have the heat beating on your back at 115, 116. That's how hot it was. And he was saying, as I was walking, I would see people collapsing on the side. Literally just walking and collapsing. Their husbands or wives putting cold water on them, trying to resuscitate them, trying to bring them back. And he said at some point, his sandals, they ripped. So as he's walking on the sand, he says it feels like you're walking on burning coal. And he said to me something powerful, and that's what it reminded me of, that he said, if in my entire life I've ever had a first row seat experience of what Yawmul Qiyamah will look like, it was when I went for Hajj. Not the whole experience, but a particular experience. As everyone's walking in two garments, the sun on top of you, people collapsing, you need to get at one point, the police are telling you, move, 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 you're trying to go this way, they're not letting you. He says, it reminded me of the mahshar, because that's exactly what the mahshar is going to be. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says that the sun is going to be this close, like a mile away from you, and you can feel yourself drenched, and you can't go back. The angels are going to push you forward towards the mahshar. So whenever we think about when it's very cold or it's very hot, few things we should do. Number one is understand that the heat in this life is a lot, but it's a reminder for what awaits us in the afterlife if we're not mindful. But the second thing that it also teaches us is gratitude. Weather is one of the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even though it's so hot, you'll have somebody inside of their house, AC is blasting, it's like 67 degrees somehow inside of their bedroom, and they're complaining, oh man, it's so hot. It's so hot, but you're not suffering from the heat. There are millions of people who have to work so hard, tirelessly outside. Forget about in another country, sometimes you'll drive and you'll see people having to work, but you're in your comfortable car with the AC blasting and you're like, oh man, it's so hot today. Yes, it's hot today, but Allah has given you the blessing of not having to suffer from that. So instead of looking at the difficulty and complaining, let's look at the comforts Allah has given us and be grateful for that. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us with His innumerous blessings. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to be grateful for everything that He has granted us, and may He cause ease to all those who are suffering through the difficult weather that we're experiencing. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Jazakumullah khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.